Hey, what's up, hooligans? So here I am today. It is cold out. It's -10. The wind chill's got it feeling like -29. So it's cold. I'm going out to the woods I gotta put new batteries in a couple of my trail cams. And then I'm lugging this 50-pound sack of corn out here through a foot of snow. It's at least 600 yards from the house to the edge of the woods, where at least I'll have the trees to block me, the wind, and make it a little better. Let's see if I can flip you around, but you can kind of see a lot of snow. So, in my video I had yesterday in my shed, I had kind of what I was wearing to keep warm. Basically got the same thing on. I have my winter boots. I actually put some thicker socks on today to help out. I just have my regular pants. I didn't put my bibs on, or my bottoms, because I knew I was going to be walking and I was going to get too hot. Like yesterday I had my waffle top thermal layer underneath my jacket because I was just standing around. I wasn't really doing much, and I was debating on wearing it out here today, but I knew with this weight that I've got on my back and walking through the snow this far, I would sweat too much with it on, so I just got my jacket on, and I threw that thermal in my ruck here, because I'm sure once I get rid of this corn, I'll probably want it on the way back. So, but we're out here. There's some deer tracks out here. I saw a deer out here this morning. That's what these tracks are from. And then down the road I saw a buck run across the road, and he only had one antler on him, so they're shedding already. So I'll walk around out here a little bit, see if I can't find some antlers laying around. It'll be pretty neat. Some fresh signs right there. Oh. This ruck I got, it's just a medium ruck. I have a frame for it, but it's in a bin somewhere. Oh, there was a deer right up there. Let me see. Oh, here we go, flip camera. Right in there, one ran across. So I'm sure out here though, every time I've been coming out this year, I've been seeing deer. So maybe you'll get some. Get some good videos of some. Because right where that deer went, that's where one of my cameras are. I just gotta grab the chip out of that. And then I have a cell camera just down the hill from where it was. That one I gotta put new batteries in. But here, I'll flip you around again. You see all the trails out here. And again, today, to keep my hands warm, I got my mittens. They come out so you can use your fingers. If you're ever out in this cold like this, definitely have mittens or something like this versus just your full-fingered gloves, because your mittens, your fingers, the skin will touch and it helps keep them warm, versus if you have gloves, your fingers are going to get a lot colder. So, and like out here, as soon as when I'm messing with the phone, I pull the ends of the mittens off and my fingertips freeze like right away. But once my fingers are touching, they warm up, and you can see the frost on my beard already. Ooh, let's see. I gotta remember where this camera is. Oh, ooh. And definitely, since I'm walking, my head is sweating. So I took my hood off, and the wind's not blowing in here like it is out there. But and my torso, kind of my arms are getting a little damp, and that's what you don't want. Is when it's this cold, you don't want to stay like that for too long, or because like if I were to just stop and sit down right now, I'm gonna get really cold from that. So you want to stay as dry as you can. So I keep moving. I'll like lower my physical activity a little bit to try to cool down, and my body heat will kind of dry off as it goes. But yeah, there's all kinds of deer tracks out here. There's a pond down there. I know that deer's in here somewhere. But then let's see, my camera. Oh man, I had trouble last time finding it. My dad put it out here, or he had moved it, and I thought he had moved it on a different side, the way he described it, and then so the whole time I was seeing deer pop up, I was thinking they were on the other side of the pond, and found out they're on this side. So the first snow that we got, I came out to check them, and I couldn't find it, and so I was looking at the last pictures, and I'm like, oh, I recognize these trees, so it's got to be close in here somewhere. Now I'm having the same problem again. I don't remember where it was last time. What's this down here? Oh. Trying to remember what the trees look like. Oh. I think I know where it's at. I gotta remember now. Or maybe not. Oh, there it is. I found it. Found it. Ooh. So the good thing is, I'll get this camera set up and see and show you. So, got my camera right there. So this is the view, and I'll show you. So, got my camera right there. So this is the view, and I posted a video of a buck, and that's from this camera coming through here, and there's a deer trail. And they go every which way, so I'll put some corn out there. That'll get rid of a good amount. A good amount of this weight on my back. Ooh. Man. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had this much weight on my back. Trekking through the forest. Oh, let's see. Through the forest. Oh, let's see. The deer and the critters will like that. Oh. Let's see, Jack. This is one of the battery packs. 16 batteries in this thing. I think this next year I'm definitely going to invest in rechargeable battery packs, because I got these in October, I think, and we've changed the batteries in them in 2 cameras 3 times since. But they work really nice. You can set it to it'll take a picture, and then you can decide if you want, you can say if you want a video, it'll take like a 15-second video, or you can set how long the video is. But it's for this camera, it's a Moultrie, Moultree, I believe. It has its own internal SIM card, so you don't have to buy one, and then you download the app and you pay a monthly subscription for it. It's like, I think $10 for, you get maybe 10 videos and 500 pictures, something like that. And then for $15 you get unlimited video or unlimited pictures and a lot more videos. So it's kind of neat for when I was out bow hunting. I had them set up trying to figure out where the deer were, and then like where they were moving, and then it's kind of a nice, gives you a heads up if they're in the area, if you're out there. So if you're just chilling and you don't think anything's around, and then you get a notification that the camera was set off. It's kind of cool. But there is, out here, because the signal isn't always the greatest, there's a delay. I've had up to like a 10-minute delay on my notifications. So by the time you get it and see it, it's already gone or going a different direction. I actually had it set up. There's one spot out here where I liked hunting because I always saw deer in there. And they'd come in through like clockwork every single day. So that's where I would hunt. And I had, like, opening weekend, I sat there, I shot at a little buck. I got a video of that. It's not the greatest quality, but it's because I was standing behind an oak tree. So the tree was here, and I was standing behind it, and I had to lean way back to get a shot at it because I was expecting him to walk past. But there was a little puddle there that they like to stop and drink out of, so that's what messed me up. And I hit it, but it wasn't a kill shot. I mean, I've seen it all throughout the rest of the year too. Like it's been around. So, and then I did the same with the doe not far from there. I hit it and we tracked it and couldn't find it. And I ended up seeing it later. Like I got to know where all these deer were. Like I could start figuring out which ones were which, where they were. it's kind of neat when you're able to do that. And then once it got closer to rifle season, I found out there was way more deer out here than what I had seen, or what I've been seeing, by myself hunting or on the cameras. And I mean, it's just amazing, because even after I had counted about 20 deer out here by rifle season, and just the other day I was coming home, so we're in December now, mid-December, and I was coming home and I counted 24, 30 deer out in the field, like just down the road from us. So I mean, there are a ton of them out here, and I still get some nice bucks. There's some fresh signs here. Here's one was laying down right here. It's kind of neat to see. So there's one here, one up there, one there, one there. I'll keep the camera kind of showing you where I'm going so you can see what I'm seeing. But yeah, that's a pretty good size, to give you a clue. That's a pretty good sized track right there. So there's some still pretty nice deer out here. Oh yeah, so when I say there's that one, there's one here. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, it's 2, 3, 4, 5. I know once I get this other camera set, get the batteries in it, and then we'll go to the far side. There's a field back there where I know I always see deer out there. Ooh. I'm trying to find, there's some spots where the trails go through some thicker branches and stuff, hoping that I can, get lucky and find some antlers. That'd be kind of cool. Like, I would expect maybe, see there right in here, I'd expect something maybe to be down there, but there's a few other trails to lock down, and like I said, I got half this corn off my back now, so it's a heck of a lot easier. You can see how deep this snow is out here. But I've hunted right in this little spot. I sat over there, and I've seen deer up in here. I got close a couple times, hit them. I was having issues with my bow, so it's the arrow rest, and something that I hadn't realized that I was doing, and I had figured it out after a while, because I kept shooting low. I was aiming right at it, and it kept going low, and I could not figure out why. And it wasn't that it was too far away. And so my arrow rest is just 2 little fingers that can move up and down, and I have it tightened so that it takes a little bit of force to push them down, while when I put my arrow on it, sometimes I'll keep my finger over it to keep the arrow on it, and I'll end up pushing it down, and it won't go back up. You got to kind of push it up. So I think that's what my issue was, is I was doing that, and that's why I kept shooting low. Let's see. Ooh. But then after I figured that out, I went out one morning and didn't have to worry about that issue because I shot at a buck that was about 10 feet away from me. So that worked out. I was sitting on the edge of a field by an oak tree, and there's another one that was laying there. But I was on the edge of the field sitting by an oak tree and looking into our side of the woods, because there's our trail, our like access trail, and then there's the woods, and behind me was a field. And I was looking into our woods and I saw a deer, so I pulled back, and it was just as it was getting light. I pulled back and I couldn't really tell how big it was because it was kind of in the trees, but if I was really desperate, I would have just took a shot and I most likely would have hit it. And I'm glad I didn't, because not 15 minutes later I looked behind me and I seen 2 deer out in the field, and they had their heads down. And then like a third one came out, and then the one picked his head up, saw that it was a buck, a nice buck. So I was like, ooh, this is good. And they were within range, but I wasn't confident with the way I've been shooting this year. So I was like, I'm not going to shoot at it. I don't know if I hit it. I don't know where it's going to go. I'll just wait and see what it does. And it started walking towards me. So I was like, ooh, this is really good. So I thought I heard something move out here. So I put the buck, or the tree, between me and the buck, and I was watching, and I slowly pulled back, and the does were coming past, so they could actually see me, but I was on the ground, kind of crouched behind there's little branches and weeds and stuff there. And I was surprised that they didn't see me, because any other time I've been out here, I can sneak around. I can be sitting absolutely still in some really thick brush, and they'll be out in the field, look directly at me. They can be 100 yards away. They'll look directly at me and know I'm there. So I was excited that they didn't see me, and the buck kept getting closer, and finally, like, I had my bow pulled back, and I just kept leaning back kind of behind the tree as it was coming, and as soon as it crossed the fence line, it stuck its head around the tree and looked at me, and I shot it. I got it. It's pretty cool. It's the first buck I ever got bow hunting. I think second deer I ever got bow hunting. And I've been hunting for 20 years. But there's a good 12-year time where I was in Georgia, so I didn't do any hunting. But let's see, so here's my second camera. And I only ever caught one picture. So that's the view that I get. And I only got one picture of a deer. It was like, I think the same day. It was the same day that it was after it snowed. We got a heavy snowstorm. And I was just checking to see what was going on out here, and they took that picture and then it died. So oh, come on. Why don't you come up? I'll set you down right here. Oh, sometimes these can be a pain. And like right now, with the temperature and how I'm feeling, it's still cold out, but big thing is, as long as you got to keep moving, keep your body heat up, or that body temperature, because if I were to just sit down and chill out for 20 minutes, I'd probably start freezing, and I'd have to get up. And once that cold sets into your bones, it's not that you can't get warm, it's just, it's hard. I came out one morning bow hunting, and it was colder than what I was expecting. I don't know, it was probably 40 degrees, 30, 40 degrees, which is, I like hunting in that weather. I used to always hunt in that weather because there was no bugs, which was great. And then this year I changed that. I was like, I haven't been bow hunting in a long time. I want to go bow hunting, and it was like 80 degrees out in September, and I was seeing all kinds of deer, and I was sweating. There's mosquitoes. I was like, screw it, I'll use bug spray. Yeah, and it didn't seem to bother the deer. And what I came to realize is that with those deer, it wasn't bothering the ones that I was seeing all the time were younger. They were yearlings, maybe a year and a half old. God, I gotta spread the rest of this corn out. So I think, and same with the bucks, yearlings, year and a half. So they don't necessarily, this might be their first interactions with humans. They don't necessarily know what I am or what the smell is. So it might not bother them. It might be their first interactions with humans. They don't necessarily know what I am or what the smell is. So it might not bother them. They're just looking at, all right, there's something there. Like there's one doe I've seen out here. Darker, it's a little darker. And it's a small one, and I have a bunch of videos of how close I got to it. And it'll see me, kind of walk. As long as I don't do anything crazy, it won't run away. If I just stand there, it'll just look at me and keep walking. And it's kind of neat. I've got a few videos of that. And then and I've come out at night. Like I never used to use a white light. I use a red light. And this year I'm like, I want to see what's out here. And I'd shine it in the trees, and you see all the eyes, and the does would always run off. So I figured out them, and that little buck that I kept seeing, he would just kind of take his time going through, so I could tell what was what by how they were moving at night, which is kind of cool. And one morning I came out and I saw at least a dozen deer on my way out here. Just the eyes everywhere as I was coming out. It's kind of neat that you could go out and you're not spooking them, because if you shine the light on them, they just stare at you and they don't know what it is. All they see is this bright thing. So it's learned a lot of stuff this year hunting. Alright, that part's done. I gotta start moving again because I can feel my toes starting to get cold. My feet feel pretty dry, which is good. The socks I have there, I don't know the brand, they're a little thicker. They're made more for cold weather, so they help quite a bit. All right, let's go see if we can't find us some deer. I still have, so those are the 2 cell cameras I have. I still have 2 regular trail cameras, and they're both working. I just got a notification that one was tripped, and I got one from the other one too, so that's good. Maybe we'll catch something. There's a couple more beds out here. got a little highway coming in here. Let's see. Oh, let's see. So we'll go a couple different ways. I'll keep the camera facing away so you can. Sometimes it's pretty quick when I see them. I don't have enough time to flip the camera around. I haven't figured it out yet. So this is my first time going live. Yesterday I recorded a video because I had horrible signal out in the shed. So I just was recording what I was doing and then I posted it last night. But this is some more once we get, there's one laying there. Once I get a little more set up out here, or get some better gear, my plan is to do more videos. And one of my buddies, we throwing some apples out here. They've been finding that, searching for food. But one of my buddies, we were talking and he wanted to do something more. So we're going to work on getting a bunch of videos this year, and we want to kind of make maybe like a YouTube channel or something for hunting, and because we both bow hunt. He's more of a stand guy and I'm more of a ground guy. I like to go walk around and find the deer, sit on the ground, hide. All right, I'm gonna try to be as quiet as I can. There's a field out here, and I usually see quite a few deer. Yep, there's some out there. So we'll try to sneak up so you guys can see some. Yeah, oh yeah. Here. Now, this doesn't zoom in very well. About a half a dozen of them. Okay, I don't know if you can see right there. I don't know. Right there. There's one. There was about 6 more of them that were over here more, but like I said, it gets hard. They can hear very well, especially with the snow. They can hear right through that. But I mean, if you look at this field, that's all from deer. Pretty crazy. Last time I saw some laying down here. But boy. Oh. So usually that's where they all end up going, which is, I know there's a lot more land out that way, and I don't think it's hunted that much, or as much as it is on this side. So, and that's all year, that's what I've been seeing, and then this field, so And that's all year, that's what I've been seeing. And then this field, so this is where I was talking about where I got the buck. Show you how close, because I have a camera set up here, and I have all kinds of like great pictures of bucks coming and nibbling on this tree. So here, this branch hanging down right here, or one of these branches, they would come in, I think it's this one. This was up higher because the snow kind of bent it down. But I had a camera set up on this tree right here, facing out this way. So I was catching all kinds of bucks coming in here. And so what I was doing, I was sitting, so my camera was there. I was sitting right here, just crouched down. So my view all morning, I'm seeing this all morning. I'm seeing that one deer I said that I pulled back on but didn't shoot, was walking through there. And then I turned around and saw those deer right out here, maybe about 30, 40 yards out. And then they started walking, so that buck was out here and came walking up. And I tell you, I was right here, and that fence post, I mean, you can see how close that is right there. It's not very far. Right where that path is in the middle, that's where he was when I took my shot. And it literally, I was sitting like this. He put his head around the corner right here, and I wish I had it on camera, because I bought a camera, like a GoPro or a different brand of a GoPro, and I put it on my bow. That's how I was getting videos. And I decided not to put it on that morning because I had to charge the batteries, and it was kind of a hassle. I didn't want to deal with it that day. But when I had that same week, or later that week, I got a little doe out in this other spot back here where I shot at that little buck, and had the camera on. I had one of my cell cameras pointing in the direction where the deer always came. And there's a big branch, or a log, a tree that fell. That's what I was hiding behind. And I was so excited because I'm like, all right, the deer come. I was tracking them through this side, the side I'm on now, tracking them over to where they were. And I knew where they were going to go. Like, I knew their patterns. So I'm like, all right, I'll cut them off. I'll sit in this spot. They're going to double back and come over to me. So then I saw them. Two of them came up. And sometimes it's hard to tell what their size is when they're moving around, or if they're not next to each other. So the one came in right where I wanted it to, and the other one kept going down the trail, kind of flanking me. And I was like, I had my bow pulled back. I kind of lost sight of the one that was flanking me. And I was like, man, I don't want that deer to give me away. If that's like the mama doe, she's gonna see me and they're all gonna run. So I was like, I gotta take a shot at this one. If I'm gonna take a shot, I was ready to be done bow hunting. And I had my camera on, and I was like, all right. I had to go up. I was watching my arrow because I was behind this log, and I had to get it up just high enough so I could shoot over the log. So I was sitting down, kind of like weirdly crouching up, and got my shot, hit it. And I was like, all right, I got video of it. If I didn't get that video, my cell camera got video of it. Cell camera didn't trip that camera. And it was right in front of it too. My camera on my bow, since I had it just hot, because my camera sits right below my arrow. So since I had my arrow just high enough to get over the log, the only thing the camera saw was log. It literally was like that. So I was like, well, I didn't get any decent shot. or video of it. Kind of a bummer, but you know, I still got one. Yeah. It's always exciting coming out. This year I said was really exciting hunting. Learned a lot of new things. Got to see a lot of deer. Still lots of tracks. Haven't seen any antlers or anything yet. Kind of go through a few more spots before I decide to head back. My legs are starting to feel the coldness now. The rest of my body's, it's not as warm as it was before carrying all that weight. So it's easier moving through this, so I'll have to pick up the pace after a while. I know once I'm heading back, that snow is a little deeper out there. Right now I'm walking right in the deer trail, so it's a lot easier. Oh. Let you see some more here. What I'm trying to find is, oh, there's some. Yep, there's that one just looking at me. I don't know if you can see that. There it goes. Oh yeah, both of them are just sitting over there. So usually they'll make a loud hissing sound. It's kind of like a warning. And they didn't do that, so all they do, I got camo on, so they hear me, probably see me. But I didn't spook them enough to where they're just taking off. There's the big thing is there. See that? The big thing is, if you stand completely still and don't move, they'll look at you, kind of test you, see what it is. Because a lot of their vision is, they look for movement. So if this, I've had a bunch of times where there's all kinds of beds out here too. I've had a bunch of times where I'll walk just like I did right now. I'll see deer like that, and if they don't take off, because they're still standing over there. I don't know if you can see, kind of right up in there. There's one. If they don't take off right away, you didn't spook them enough that they just heard something, and they're kind of in a slight alert mode. They're laying. It's probably where it was laying. Oh, let's see. And all I would do is, if they kept on moving, if they're too far away, like these ones, the trees, it's pretty thick back here. So if I was bow hunting trying to track them down, like if I was set on getting one of them, I'd try it. You know, it's hard in the fall before it snows because of the leaves. So you make noise. So it's getting through that, trying to step around to not make noise. You know, you can kind of mask it if there's a slight breeze. That helps out a lot. You know, you can kind of mask it if there's a slight breeze. That helps out a lot. That will kind of help you blend in your sounds when you're stepping. And I always hear, people will say and argue that, oh, you gotta heel to toe or whatever, roll your foot, go on your side, whatever the case, don't walk flat-footed. I've tried all different ways of doing this. And yeah, the heel to toe, it works. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't work, because I've done that, I've used that. And then sometimes I think about it, I'm like, well dang, deer moving around are not going heel to toe, they're just, so, because they have hooves. So if you listen to them walking through, I try to mimic that sometimes, which kind of requires you either walk on your toes or walk flat-footed. That way they're not hearing that. It's a. But I've had a couple times out here. I was walking down a trail, just one of the actual ones you can drive on, not the deer trails. And I came around the corner. I saw a deer staring at me, so I just stand still, don't move at all, and then you just kind of wait it out. Let's see, I'm trying to find. There's another trail out here. Let's see if there's any antlers back here. But you know, I waited out because what they do, and it's always the does. I never come across bucks like that. It's hard coming across a buck like that, or at least in my experience, I've never had that. I've always been sitting still when I see the bucks. Once I was walking and caught one laying down, but they'll sit there and they'll just stare at you, and they'll move. They're trying to catch your movement. They want to see if you're moving. I just think of myself as a tree. That's all I am. I'm just here. I'm a tree, not moving at all. And what they like to do is they'll put their head down to the ground like they're eating, and then they'll pick it up right away, because they're wanting to see if, when they put their head down, if you start moving, because they're remembering where you're at, and they're trying to bust you. So I just sit there, and the biggest thing is be patient. The more patient you are, the more successful you're going to be at hunting or bow hunting. Because I'll let them, what I do is, once they start walking, once that tail starts wagging again, then you're good to go. You can start walking. And then just take your time. And what I like is, so say for instance, if I see a deer somewhere out here, my best friend are these big oak trees, because I'll go and I'll get that tree in between us. Because as long as I do that, that's my cover. You know, they can't see me. And then I'll walk straight to that tree, and I'll peek around the corner, make sure they're still there, because I've had times where I've done that. I get closer, peek around the corner, and the deer's gone. Like, I have no clue where it went. The only way it could have went was straight on to where, the tree is still blocking me. So that's happened a few times, but then you get close to that tree, and then you find the next spot. And then sometimes you gotta, it's like that red light, green light game when you're kids. You play that, and until you get close enough to take a shot. And I did that. I had that once this year. I actually got really close to one doing that. I've done it a lot this year with deer, kind of just stalking them, but only there was one time where I got a shot, and I don't know how I missed. It was the same issue that I was having with my arrow rest, and it just didn't. I shot low, but and it was a perfect shot too. Or no, I hit a tree. I was slightly off and hit a tree, and that's what the issue was on that one. But yeah, I figured, so this is where I was sitting. I'll show you here. This is where I was sitting, behind this tree that had fell. basically I just crouched down right in here, and the deer would always come out. So we have a trail over there that we can drive on, and then the deer would always come in through here and go out that way, out there, or they just come behind me. And I had the one came in right here, and the other one went down this trail to where if I'm sitting here, they could see me right there pretty clearly. Some of that stuff wasn't knocked down. That winter storm, or that first snow we got, knocked a lot of that down. But yeah, this is the same spot. And then right, that tree, that's what I was sitting behind when I got the buck in the same little, or I shot at that little buck in the same spot. That tree, that's what I was sitting behind when I got the buck in the same little, or I shot at that little buck in the same spot. That I had a video of, but it's because I let my bow down too fast. The image is really shaky and it's a little grainy because I wasn't zoomed in, right? It was like the first time really using that camera, so I didn't really know any of the issues that would come up with it. Gotta make sure I go the right way and don't get turned around. Last time I came out here, when you couldn't see anything out here. Like, all of it, like there's no way you could see through. Every single tree was bent down, had snow on it, like how that one's got snow. Everything was like that. You had to crouch to get down this trail. And then I got turned around out here. Ended up going the wrong direction. I didn't even realize it until I came across another trail. And I was like, oh well, I am lost. And then trying to find my way out. I suppose though, I'll go walk back up here and make my way out of here. I am kind of pretty excited though. Oops. No, I don't want them here. For next year, I'm gonna start doing that more. Because we got some tripods and stuff to hold, the camera, the iPad, whatever equipment we have. I'm kind of excited to set that stuff up when I come out hunting. That way I'd really love to go live when I'm seeing deer. And the whole hunting thing, if I can get some sort of chest rig that I can hook the camera up to, or even on my bow. But I'll probably end up just getting a few different cameras, one on my chest, one on my head, one on the bow, so I get different angles. Because the issue is, like, if I have one on my chest pointing straight out, when I shoot with my bow, I'm not shooting straight like this. I'm off to the side, or there's some more deer up there. Probably the same ones that we saw earlier. And I've been in all kinds of different positions shooting. But my battery is getting pretty low here. I guess going live really drains it. I had it at 100% when I started, and I don't know how long it's been. But what I'll do is I'll flip the camera around and see if I can catch these deer out here, and then I'll probably sign out and hightail it back to the house. I saw him run down that way. And that's their tracks. But alright, that's it before my phone dies. I'll have to bring something to charge it next time. But thank y'all for joining. Thanks for watching. I'll do more of this from time to time. So y'all have a good time. Thank you.